Well, there it is. Miami Dolphins make it official. What is up, Finn fans? Moved my mic over, and I don't like how all of this is in the shot. I'm moving a lot of things over. I'm redoing the office. I'm cleaning up the back, but that's not the point of this video. So you're just gonna have to deal with this big old mic arm on here. The Miami Dolphins have officially put Tua Tagovailoa on injured reserve. Roster moves. We have placed Tua Tagovailoa on injured reserve, and they have added quarterback Tyler Huntley off the practice squad. Dolphins have also signed former second-round pick tackle Jackson Carman to the practice squad and released wide receiver Robbie Chosen from the practice squad, which... let's just be honest. Robbie Chosen is just, he ain't it. He ain't it. And he needed to go. Now we'll get to Tua. We'll get to him missing minimum 5 weeks because again they don't count the bye. But I'll get to all that real quick. I want to bring up the fact of Robbie Chosen being released from the practice squad. Hopefully that means Malik Washington is good to go. He has been dealing with an injury and has missed the first 2 weeks, and he would be a huge proprietor to the number 3 wide receiver position. Also, maybe Eric Izukama gets a look over Robbie Chosen because golly gee willikers, Robbie Chosen has not been good. Neither has DeBose, though. It's like our whole third string wide receiving crew is just garbage because Odell is hurt. Craycraft is hurt. It's like those are your number 3 guys and they're all hurt. But the Dolphins have made those moves. So obviously we will talk about Tua Tagovailoa. Now he is going to IR. They released, let me see, I want to make sure I read the right thing. They're essentially putting him on IR, which means he is done for a minimum of 4 games. So you might be saying to yourself, well, Doug, he should be back for the Colts game because he can come back after 4 weeks. It's not 4 weeks, it's 4 games. So he's going to miss Seattle, Tennessee, New England, and Indy, and then he could come back for the Cardinals game. I think he will come back for that Cardinals game, and that is a home game as well. And then we go on a tough trip over to Buffalo and to the West Coast. Now, here's the thing, right? Looking at, first off, they're doing this to give him more time to get his mind right, to get his situation right, for him to make the right decision and all that stuff. They're giving him about a month. Go see all the neurologists, get your brain straight. Make sure this is what you want to do, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Because if you remember, I made a video talking about the reports are that he's not going to retire. Dolphins are giving him a month to decide that. Also, it was a bad concussion. He had fencing arm and everything, so he needs time to rest. That being said, looking at the Miami Dolphins schedule, we are heading to Seattle. Kevin Harlan is the announcer. Just going to say that. Tennessee, New England, Indy. Those are the next 4 games on the Miami Dolphins schedule. You're facing Geno Smith, Will Levis, Jacoby Brissett, and Anderson. 3 of those 4 quarterbacks are not good. Now, Geno Smith is a good, decent quarterback, and that Seattle game is going to be very interesting, especially because we are heading over to the West Coast. But facing Will Levis, facing Jacoby Brissett, and facing the Colts quarterback Anderson, who has not been good so far, the Dolphins defense should be able to contain them. This all predicates on our offense. Can our offense get their heads out of their butts like the past 2 weeks and finally put it together? Now, it's not going to be as easy because you don't have Tua out there who runs this offense differently than anyone else. But Skylar Thompson has been on this team for 3 years now. You should be able, at minimum, so the Dolphins are sitting at 1-1 right now. The best they should do going into that Cardinals game is be 4-2. That's what they should be going into the Cardinals game. You might lose one game, maybe the Seattle game, maybe to New England, because again, New England can't beat Tua, but Tua won't be there. At best, no, my apologies. At best, you should be 5-1. Right? But realistically, 4-2, 3-3, right? If you go into that sucker 2-4 or 1-5, you got a long road ahead of you because this was the easy stretch of the schedule. Now, yeah, you got the Raiders who don't have a great offense, Rams, who are just completely depleted. You got the Patriots again, but then you got the Packers, the Jets, the Texans, the 49ers, the Browns. You got a lot of good teams coming up. You need to take advantage of facing inferior quarterbacks in Will Levis, Jacoby Brissett, and Anderson. You got to go out and win these games. Next man up, you need to take that mentality. You need to take everything else from the past. You know, they talked about the Jaguars game. Hey, if this was the Dolphins of the last 2 years, they would have lost. We would have lost that game because versatility and we fought through it and yada, yada. All right, we'll continue that mindset because these are important games. You need to win these games until your starting quarterback comes back. So these are games they can win. Skylar Thompson is capable of beating these teams. Now, you're going to face good defenses, though, as well, right? Seattle's got a good defense. Tennessee's got a good defense. New England has, right now, top 5 defense. And the Colts are pretty good. You're going to be facing good defenses, but you can be facing bad quarterbacks. Our defense needs to feast on these bad quarterbacks, and our offense needs to just score points when you can, if you can. And if the defense can do it, fantastic. Like the Bears beat the Titans and they didn't score a touchdown. If the Bears can beat the Titans, the Dolphins should be able to beat the Titans. It's that plain and simple. So gotta pull it together. You gotta rally around. It's next man up. I will talk more about this on Friday, especially when it comes to previewing the Seattle Seahawks game. But Tua's going to be on IR for, again, a minimum of 5 weeks, 4 games. They can come back after 4 games. So I know a lot of people will see this and be confused. Like, wait, I thought it was 4 weeks, 4 games. When you're on IR, you can come back after 4 games. That's why the Patriots game is where Odell, I think Odell's on the PUP. But regardless, the PUP or that, the Patriots game is when Chubb, Odell, Wynn, Craycraft, Sean Smith can all come back. They all can come back the Patriots game, but I guess they'll come back the Colts game. But heck, if they can come back that Patriots game, that'd be huge because then it'll also give us a little bit of a boost to win that game and possibly get to that, 4-2 going into Cardinals or best case 5-1. But Tua's going to IR. Tua is done for the pretty much almost the full month of October. He will, best case scenario, be back for the 27th of October, home against the Arizona Cardinals. And the Dolphins did make some moves, bringing in, like I said, former second-round pick of the Bengals, Carmen. He's going to be on the practice squad. What will he do? Will he help? Will he not? Teron Armstead supposedly is day-to-day. Again, that sucks. It's week 2 and we already got Teron Armstead banged up, but we have Patrick Paul as the future. Kendall Lamb is a viable backup. Austin Jackson needs to play better. Our interior needs to play better. You're going to be facing good defensive fronts. It is pivotal that this offense can score more than 10 to 17 points, 10 to 20 points a game. You're killing me here. That's what I got for you. Wanted to come on, make a quick update of the fact that Tua is going to IR, give you some updates on some other things. Comment below. I know there's going to be some doom and gloom people. Season's over. We'll be lucky to win 1 game, but comment below. Let me know. We have 1 home game of the next 4, though, so that's going to be tricky, but comment below. Let me know what you guys think. When do you think, is Skylar going to step up and really show that, hey, I can run this thing like the team expects me to? Or do you think you'll see Tyler Huntley at some point in the next 4 or 5 weeks? Comment below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with my picks video. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.